In this video, I will be using Windows Configuration Designer to create another provisioning package. I'm starting this video from my GitHub page, and that's because there are a few bits of information here that I will be using for this video, and I will leave the URL in the description down below. Also, in the bottom of the page you can find more of my videos that are related to this topic, mainly about run once and active setup, because I will be using both of these functionalities in this video. So if you want more details on how it works, you can check out the videos right here. And here you can see all the objectives for this video. The main one is to install all the software that we have in this list. And in this case, I will not be installing software from the provisioning package. Instead, I will be executing a PowerShell script that runs after provisioning process is over. And that's because provisioning process only allows us to run actions for 20 minutes. And we don't want to waste that time for software installation. And other objectives are to skip out-of-the-box experience, create user admin without password, then add admin user to the administrators group, then skip privacy experience. If you don't know what that is, it's basically this screen that we get after creating a user account and logging in for the first time. And the last step is to disable user account control, and this step is optional, you can skip it if you want to. Also, if you want me to make other provisioning package with different configurations, let me know in the comments down below. And now I will begin this video by downloading all the executables that I will need for this video. Also, I have all the URLs that I will be using in my GitHub page. Also, make sure that you're using the same executables from the same source, or if you're using different executables, make sure that you know silent switches for those executables. Anyways, I will start downloading with VLC, so I will click on the link here. Then I will click download VLC. And then let's do Acrobat Reader. Here we need to select operating system, so Windows 11 for the language English, and the version is the only one that's available, and download. Then let's do 7-zip. I will be using the 64-bit Windows x64, so I will click download here. Let's do Google Chrome next. Channels table, file type MSI, architecture 64. Download, accept and download. Then let's do Zoom. And for Zoom I will be using the MSI installer, so I will click the link here. Next, Firefox. Here Firefox, Windows 64, English US, so everything seems to be fine. Download now. Next is Telegram. Get Telegram, and the last one is Brave, so I will click here, and it brings us to the Brave browser GitHub page, and that's because here we can download different types of executables by clicking on the release here. And as you can see, we have different types of options, and for this video I will be using this one, Brave browser standalone silent setup. And this is nice because this is silent installation for Brave browser out of the box. We don't need any silent switches for this executable. So I will click on it and the download should start for me. Now let's go to the downloads folder. And it seems that we have all of our executables here already. Also, we need a few more files that we can get from my GitHub page. So I'll go back there, then I will scroll up. And here I have a file called setup.ps1, so I will open that one. Then I will click on the button here to download the script. And the next one that we need is this one, install software. So I will click that and I will download this one also and go back to my downloads folder. Now we have everything that we need. And now let's explore the scripts that we got from my GitHub page and let's see what they do. And for that I will open Visual Studio Code in my downloads folder. And as you can see, the first open script is setup.ps1 that we have here. And this script performs three actions. One of them is creating a folder called software packages in C program data folder on the computer. And the second one is copying all the files that it has in the current directory to the folder that it created. And because we'll be running this script from a provisioning package, and the provisioning package will have all the executables for the software installation, it will copy all the executables from the provisioning package to the computer. And after that, the script is creating a run once registry entry in local machine Hive with the name install software and with this value right here. And this value right here will be executed after a successful administrator logon. And after it will be executed, it will execute another script that is responsible for the software installation. And now let's see how the other script looks that is responsible for the software installation. And here we have the location where we have our executables, and then we have a bunch of PowerShell custom objects. And each object basically is information for each software package on how to install the software silently. And that means that if you want to modify this provisioning package and add or remove software that is being installed, you need to modify this script. For example, if you want to remove 7-zip, then you just remove this custom object that we have here. And if you want to add software, you need to create another custom object and fill in all the necessary information for that software package installation. And then you need to fill in the name, and the name is not that important. You can have whatever value that you want here. Then for exe, you need to provide the full executable name that includes the extension. And for the type, it's a bit tricky because software can be two types. One of them is machine-wide, another one is user-wide. For example, 7-zip is machine-wide, and that means that this software is installed by administrator, and after the installation, this software is available for all the users on the computer. And user-wide installation is where the user himself needs to install the software, and it will be only available for that user who installed it. Or if multiple users on that computer needs to use that software, all of them needs to execute the installation. And as you can see here, we have Brave Browser, and Brave Browser is a user-wide installation. That means that if you have multiple users on the computer and all of them needs to use Brave Browser needs to be installed for each user, and the installation needs to be executed by the user. And the script deploys the software differently depending on the type that we provide. For example, if the type is machine, then the software installation is just executed and then the software is available for all the users. And if the type is user, then the script will not execute the installation, but it will configure active setup to install the software for each user on the computer once during logon process. And the last bit of information that we need to provide for our PS custom object is a silent switch. And if you're having trouble finding silent switches for your software packages, you can go to my GitHub page. And here I have few links, one that goes to my other GitHub page. And as you can see here, I have few software packages. If I click on Firefox, we can find a silent switch here. And also the other link is for Chocolatey community. And here we have different Chocolatey installation packages. And if I, for example, if I go to Google Chrome, then we can scroll down a bit, expand files, and then we need to find this file right here, chocolatey install.ps1, and click show here. And here we can see a PowerShell script that is responsible for installing Google Chrome. And here, in most cases, you can find this hash table. And in this hash table, there is a value name silent args. And as you can see here, we can see the silent switches that this package is using for installing Google Chrome. So Chocolatey community page is very good for this type of information. Anyways, let's go back to the script. Also, if you're using the same script and trying to install the same software, make sure that the executable names here matches the executable names that you have in your downloads folder. Because most of the executable names contain version numbers in it, and they will change after time. So double check all the executable names and modify them. And that's pretty much everything that you need to know if you want to add or remove software packages in this provisioning package. If I scroll down a bit, you can see all the different custom objects for each software package. For example, here we can see Telegram is a user-wide installation also, and that means that the installation needs to be executed by the user for each user on the computer. And in the bottom, we have the logic for the software installation. Basically, here I'm going through each of the custom objects. Here I'm checking the type, if the type is machine. Then I'm also checking if the file is an MSI file. And if it is, then I'm using MSI exec to execute the installation. And if it's not, then I'm using the executable to start the installation. After the installation, I'm removing the installation files, but I'm removing the installation files only for the machine-wide installations. And then if the installation is user-wide, we're creating active setup registry keys, and then active setup is creating run once keys for each user. And like I said, if you're interested on how active setup works, you can check out the GitHub page in the bottom, and here you can find the videos about it. And that's basically it. Here I'm right hosting all done and using read host to stop the command line from closing, because I want to see all the output after the installation. And that's basically it. And now we can start creating our provisioning package and see how everything works. And now I will go to the configuration designer. Here I will go to File, New Project. I will name this project, I don't know, Software. Then I will click Next, Next. Here I will select all Windows Desktop Editions and click Next, Finish. I will expand runtime settings. First, let's skip OOBE, so I will go to OOBE, Desktop, and here for hide OOBE, I will select the value True. After that, let's go to the provisioning commands, primary context, and here I'll select commands. And I will go back to the GitHub page to see what we need to do. So we did this. Now let's create administrator account and add it to administrator group. And for that, I will use the command that I have here. So I will select it and I will copy it and go back to the configuration designer. I will name the command create admin user and click add. I will click here. Then I will select command line, and in the command line, I will paste in the value from the GitHub page. And this command is two commands. One of them is creating an admin user, and second one is adding admin user to administrator group. So we're achieving this and that. Then let's skip privacy experience, and for that I will copy this and click on the command. I will name it disable privacy and click add. I will expand here and click on command line, and I will paste in the command here. Also, I forgot to mention that I'm using command line commands to create our user, because if you're using accounts, the password is mandatory. So instead of using that, I'm just creating a user using command line commands. Anyways, back to the GitHub page. Now let's disable user account control. For that, I will copy this and click on the command here. I will name this disable UAC. Click add, click on it here, command line, and paste in the value here. Let's see what we need to do next. We did this and also this and this. So we're done with this part. Now we need to install the software. And for that, let's go back to the configuration designer, expand device context. Here I will click on command files, then browse. And here I will go to my downs folder. I will select everything that I have here. So all the installation executables for the software, and also the scripts, install software and setup. So I will select everything and click on open. Then I will click add here. And as you can see here, we have our files here. Then I will select command line, and here I will go back to the GitHub page, and I will copy this line right here. Basically, this line right here will execute the script setup PS1. So I'll copy it, paste it here. And we are done. Now let's create our provisioning package. For that, I will click Export Provisioning Package. For the owner, I will select IT Admin, click Next, 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 and Build. Then I will open the output location. And here we only care about this file right here. So I will right click on it, copy it, and I will copy it to my USB drive that I have here. And then I will go to VMware Workstation. And here I have a virtual machine that I prepared for the demonstration. And here I will connect the USB drive. So I will go to VM, Remote Devices, find my USB drive, and I will connect it to this virtual machine. And now let's wait and see what's going to happen. As you can see, the provisioning package has started doing its thing. And as you can see, because our user doesn't have password, it automatically logs into it. And here we can see our installation script running. As you can see, it already installed few software packages. It installed 7-zip, Adobe Reader. It set up active setup for Brave browser. It installed Google Chrome, and also it set up the active setup for Telegram. Now it's installing VLC. Now it's installing Firefox, so it should be done in a minute or two. And as you can see, now it's saying all done. That means all the software packages have been installed. If I go to my file explorer and to see program data folder, and then we can find here software packages. As you can see, we still have the installation script, and also we have the executables for Brave browser and Telegram, and that's because both of these executables are user-wide installations. This means that both of them will be installed during the next logon process. And if I go to the control panel, uninstall a program, you can see that all of our software packages have been successfully installed. And now let's see if active setup will successfully install Telegram and Brave browser. So we don't need this window anymore. So I will close it and I will sign out from my user. Then I will sign back in. Let's open Task Manager to see if something is happening. And I cannot find any installation. But maybe it didn't start yet. Oh, as you can see, the Telegram application has appeared already. And somewhere here, there should be the Brave browser installation. Oh, here it is. The Brave browser is currently being installed. And it also appeared here. And that's it for creating a provisioning package that contains all the software installation executables in it and then executes a PowerShell script after provisioning process is over. Let me know in the comments down below if you want me to create more provisioning packages with different configurations. And like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and see you in the next one.